Hey Renaissance, good morning and welcome to Church at Home this Sunday morning. We realize that today could be a part of your Christmas weekend, or maybe this weekend you're out catching some Christmas deals, or maybe you're busy packing up all your Christmas decor. Whatever you find yourself doing this weekend, thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday with us. We hope by everyone attending online that our staff and all of our volunteers are enjoying a peaceful holiday weekend. We did think it would be nice to reflect a little on the past year.
Well, 2020 has been a very strange and difficult year. And it's hard to even use those simple words to describe what so many of us have gone through. For some, it's just been the inconvenience of wearing masks and social distancing and not being able to eat in restaurants. And for others, there's been true heartache, loss of loved ones, people in the hospital that you can't visit, canceled holiday plans. And so when we think back of this past year, it's all of the hard things that we've gone through. But if we're honest, there's been some really great shining moments in the middle of those as well. And so today we just wanted to talk a little bit about some of those things too.
I think the thing I'm most grateful for in 2020 was my faith. God really used everything that happened in 2020 to grow my understanding of Him and give me a lot of hope in spite of everything that went on in the world this year.
Well, when you told me we were going to do this and you gave me the question, I have to be honest, I felt a little bit guilty because 2020 has been such a bad year for so many people that we know. But that hasn't been the case for Tina and I. For Tina and I, 2020 has been a year of just unexpected blessings. And we're sitting in the middle of the one I'm most grateful for.
Some of the things that I'm most grateful for in 2020 are family and friends, just because of the way that 2020 has gone, just being all shaken up. It's family and friends have provided comfort and stability even when things aren't.
I am really thankful for this past year that it allowed Jeff and I to slow down at least a little bit. We really got to enjoy some quarantine time together as a family. Right, girls?
Yeah.
I'm most thankful for getting to spend time with my family and be with them. You know, working from home was fun, taking recess breaks while the kids are doing school, and just getting to be with them.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I have so many things to be thankful for, and I had a wonderful year, and a lot of people who are able to rejoice with me. And the Bible says, rejoice with those who rejoice. But also realize that there are a lot of people who had a really hard year too, and so it's hard to say, I'm so thankful for all these things when so many people are suffering.
I think what I'm most grateful for in 2020 is probably just the time that I had. It kind of felt like I was gifted an amount of time to do it a little bit how I wanted to, and I got the chance to spend it in ways that I felt like really benefited me. Like I didn't have all of these things that I was committed to all of a sudden, and I had a chance to focus on my personal health and mental health and physical health and spiritual health and grow in ways that I don't think I would have otherwise.
All right, so the thing that I'm most thankful for in 2020 is honestly just the opportunity to slow down. I think it's forced all of us to slow down. And more family time!
Yes.
I think I was most grateful for the freedom and the opportunity just to reevaluate our life and reevaluate what it is that I like to do, hobbies, what our family looks like, just all of that it was just a year of being able to take time to really zoom out on our life
Yeah.
and look at what we have and I don't know, change. Like we changed so much this year.
Yeah.
And we had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was big. You agree?
Yeah, we got chickens, we got ducks.
Yeah.
What else could you want?
Nothing else apart from a cow, maybe.
Apart from a cow.
Or a hamster. A llama.
Maybe a llama. Okay.
So one of the things that stuck out to me this past year is that God is still in control of everything. We could say it this way. Nothing on God's 2020 planner was canceled. Solomon in Proverbs tells us that it is the way of man to plan, and it is according to God's ordaining the steps, so to speak. So basically, we plan all the things that we want to do in the year, but they only come to be when God says it's time for them to be. So even though a lot of plans for us were canceled last year, we had disappointing Easters and maybe even some other holidays, I still saw God's hand at work in ordaining all of the steps as we moved forward. So I just saw God's sovereignty shining through all of this, and that's been a real highlight for me.
I am probably most thankful for the new relationships. We moved in June, and it feels like we've been here for 3 years because of this year. But so there's been some new relationships that we've been able to establish, and yeah. So I think that probably the relationships have been probably the biggest takeaway that I'm most thankful and grateful for in this year. Hey guys, good morning. I absolutely love being at home with my family. I am often enjoy having people over to my home as well. We put work into making our home a place where people are welcome, they can enjoy, be entertained. We love hosting, all things hospitality. That's really what we enjoy doing. My wife does a great job, and I try hard, but I try. She doesn't naturally. So honestly, probably one of the hardest things about this year for our family is been just not being able to have a lot of people over to our house. Well, most of our family, I think there are probably a couple introverts in there, but the fact that coming on staff to a church during this time, that has also been a huge frustration, a hurdle for me. Not being able to see everybody, to meet everybody. There are some beautiful families that I've yet to meet, and others that we just haven't been able to fully engage with, like is normal to us. So today, you're invited to our table. Welcome to the Wynn House. I think you're going to see a little bit of the chaos, and so excited that you are welcome here at our table. So from our home to yours, welcome. So there's this passage this morning that I want to look at. It's a passage in Scripture that is probably one of the most recognizable, the most iconic passages in all of Scripture, second only to maybe the Lord's Prayer. We've painted it, we've hung it on walls in waiting rooms and offices. It's cross-stitched on pillows, and it's embroidered on blankets. But if you haven't guessed it yet, it's of course Psalms 23. Now the context to the ancient Near East reader who this is written to, it would be for this familiar language that the other ancients would use to describe their deities. And some would say this poses a problem for the God of the Bible, that there's these borrowed ideas from other religious expressions that would actually predate theirs. And but then this wouldn't really be a true kind of understanding of the Hebrew authors and what they're doing and what their purpose is in borrowing from these other sources. You see these concepts, they would be easily understood in the Near Eastern cultures to describe Jehovah, right, the Judeo-Christian God. And but here's a twist. They're saying we're going to describe how our God is different, distinct from these other deities that you've come to know. And so that most certainly was the purpose. So here, specifically in Psalm 23, if you want to grab your Bibles and turn there, we see God as the shepherd. We see him as the host, preparing a banqueting table. Though these concepts are familiar, the Hebrew God doesn't require them to sacrifice their children, right? The Hebrew God doesn't require them to please him with debased and immoral rituals. And so they're showing this distinction between the Hebrew God and their deities that they would see with similar attributes. So the Hebrew writer here, and in most cases, is showing the contrast between these false gods and the one true God of the Bible. So we know Psalm 23, or at least we're familiar with it. Maybe we start real strong. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and then, might trail off and come in strong at the end. But are we really living in the reality of it? So, and I'll explain here in a minute, but let's read the passage together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy, and this mercy in the literal Hebrew is steadfast love. Surely goodness and steadfast love shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So let's look at God as the shepherd. All right, it's this, talking about this close, this intimate, this personal relationship. And then we're going to look at him as the host, preparing this beautiful banquet table, right, to take care of an honored guest, you being that guest. So this is that close relationship exemplified in this, him being the good shepherd. So it's God, or more specifically Jesus. And is he your shepherd? And then further, is he shepherding you? Because there is a difference. And much like you can be on a sports team and you can have a coach and still not allow yourself to be coached. Just about every professional sports is an example of this. They're on a team, but are they? It's not like when they were in Pee Wee League, right? They're not being coached in the same way. So the reality is, you and I, we are letting somebody, something, someone lead us. So who is shepherding you? Because you're a sheep, right? I'm a sheep. God says so, and it's not exactly a compliment here. God's not saying, I've made you this mighty sheep, right? Sheep can't run very well. Their eyesight is terrible. They're not smart at all. There's nothing that is exciting about them. They need leadership. They are dependent, and they are needy. But listen to the language here that the psalmist is using. He says that he's going to make you lie down in green pastures. Whoo, that's hot. Delicious. So anyone besides me ever been made to lie down? Has God ever made you lie down in a season? Right? In retrospect, in hindsight, for me, it was the very thing that I needed. In fact, there was a season after being made to lie down that I would even use those exact words, that it was the rest that I needed that I didn't even know about, right? It's the rest that I didn't know I needed because I'm a sheep. Let's continue. He leads you beside still waters, right? He will bring you to rest and peace, the peace and rest that you need. Sheep don't want that moving water. They don't want the troubled water. And here the Hebrew is literally translated as waters of rest. He will lead you to waters of rest. Does your soul need restoration? Because that's what kind of shepherd he is. He restores my soul. How about guidance, wisdom, direction? Because he wants to lead you in such a way that people will see how he leads his sheep and say, ooh, I want to be led like that. I want to be cared for like that. I want to be loved like that. See, because it's for his name's sake. So when people see how he leads his sheep, it makes them say, yeah, that's what I want. He'll be with you and he'll walk with you through the darkest times. This is the valley of the shadow of death. So through that darkest season of your life, he's going to be with you through it. His rod and his staff, they bring comfort. And you know he's going to protect you, right, from the predators. And even though he might use it as discipline, even in that discipline, you feel comforted. Right? There's provision. He prepares a table before you, even when you're surrounded, you're in the presence of your enemies. He anoints your head with oil, right? That's that there's that favor, there's that blessing that's on your life, and it actually begins to overflow then to those around you. Your cup overflows. And what will follow you then is his goodness and mercy, right? His steadfast love. That is what's going to be the thing that is most remarkable about your life as you allow him to shepherd you. Yes, right? I love everything about this passage, but we're sheep. So we like it, we tweet it, we share it, we paint it, we embroider it on our underwear. Okay, that just got a little bit weird, but right. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Maybe it's not what you put on your underwear, but are we allowing God to shepherd us? All right, we love the verse. We plaster it everywhere. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying return your pillow to Hobby Lobby. It's great. But are we allowing God to shepherd us? Or are we just making it something that we just throw on our wall? He's our shepherd. And if we put our faith in Jesus, Jesus is our shepherd. But are we letting Jesus shepherd us? So let's look at verse 5. It says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So right in the middle, and we're going to really camp on this. Love that he's a good shepherd, but the host, the table, that he prepares a table before you in the presence of the diagnosis, in the presence of, right, 2020, anything in 2020, in the presence of an addiction, in the presence of a relational conflict, in the presence of the gossip, in the presence of the backstabbing, in the presence of my enemies. He's prepared a table before me. Okay, so this is how I want to read it, how I wish it was written, how I wish it was read, is you prepare a table before me in your presence. It's just you, absence of struggle, absent of conflict, absent of storms, like you just take me out of all of that. But that's not how it reads. It reads that he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So right, channel your inner Michael Scott as he sees Toby has returned. No, God, no. Right? I just want to be in your presence. I don't want to be surrounded by my enemies. God, why? And the Lord says, in the presence of your enemies, in your conflict, in your 2020, in your struggles, I'm preparing a table. And if you're anything like me, your immediate response, when conflict comes, when pressure is added, when the storms blow in, is fix it. God, fix it. Take me out of this. End this now. It's dark. This hurts. This is painful. And as he's prepared this table for you in the presence of your enemies, the table is for you and the one who's prepared it. It's a table for two. See, in the ancient Near East, that like this, the reader, the hearer of this these images would absolutely explode in their mind. Right? This is the culmination of these images coming to life. The Good Shepherd has now prepared a table. The Lord is being depicted here as this generous and gracious host, one that is able to lavish care for the guest. Right? Remember, this is a hot and arid climate. Right? This is the Middle East. It's very unforgiving. So the fact that the host would be able to be rich enough to afford to prepare a table and beyond that to provide that anointing oil for your face and your head as you're is the hot climate has done its damage on your skin. And so it's conditioning, it's soothing. And not only that, it's fragrant. So you're not going to smell like the camel that you just got off of. Like you're going to smell all of this, all these spices and all these scents are just going to rise, and it's going to make it that pleasant experience. Your cup is full and it's always overflowing. It's not like that restaurant that you go to and you get done with your drink, right? And there's just the ice at the bottom and that crazy sound with the straw that you make when you see your waiters approaching, right? Or you rattle the glass, or maybe you could just say, hey, can I get a refill, please? But this is not that place. This is not that kind of thing. Your cup overflows and is always full. All right, this is not that kind of host. He is taking good care of his guests. So this table is this relationship that we have with Jesus, the Good Shepherd. And there are little e enemies that surround you, right? There are the diagnosis, there are the finances, there are the relational conflicts, there is the stress of life, there is also that big E enemy, the devil. Right, 1 Peter 5:8 would say this: be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. So he's looking for an in. He's looking for an opportunity to disrupt what is happening in this relationship, at this table, right? In this relationship with God. He's looking for a way to disrupt. He's looking for a seat at this table for two. And one of my long distance mentors, we all have read that book or listened to that teaching or watched the video, and we haven't actually met the person, but they've had such an impact on our lives that they've become a mentor in a sense. And we have historical mentors that have long since passed and still are mentoring us through their writings. And so here's what this guy would say concerning this passage. He'd say, don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Don't give the enemy a seat. So let me explain. There are times when this table, right here in the Wynn House, speaking of my table, it's open to all. Anybody can come to the door. If they figure out when we're eating, which would be a science. I don't know if you can get that algorithm, but if you come to the door, you're going to be able to eat some food. Right? There's probably going to be enough. If not, we're going to throw something else in. We're going to pull something out of the fridge. We're going to make it happen. You can come about any time and you'll be welcome. But on occasion, say a birthday or an anniversary, I've got the fillets on the grill. There's a table prepared. It's got the good plates out. The candles are lit and the music is setting the mood. And by the way, I've sent the kids away. This is only a table for two. It's just Jen and I, and it's probably it said our birthday or anniversary, and you come and you ring my doorbell. You're not getting a seat at my table, right? At that point, that's when I turn you away. See, somebody's prowling around. They're looking for that steak, right? That fillet, my fillet, that they're gonna devour, and it's just not gonna happen, right? Anybody have that lunchroom bully? For me, mine was actually in college, Bible college of all places. These guys would when there was cake on the menu, right? Especially chocolate cake. The cafeteria food was pretty bad. It was pretty dismal, but no offense, Martha, if you're watching. I'm sure she did the best with what she had, but when there was cake, these guys would go around and they would stick their finger in an unsuspecting victim's cake, and they would ask the question, were you going to eat that? It's like, they're prowling around looking for cake they may devour. There's an enemy that wants to disturb the peace that Jesus offers, those still waters. There's an enemy that wants to rob you of your rest, right? Those green pastures. He wants to get you off course of the path of righteousness. He's looking for an end to bring anxiety, to bring worry, to bring fear, instead of that peace and that comfort that walking with the Good Shepherd provides. He's unwelcome. He's eating your food. He's stealing your peace, your rest, your comfort. He's eating your lunch. He's sticking his finger in your cake. So how do you know? How do you know if this weasel is at your table? How do you know if this enemy, if you've made a seat at the table, this table for two, how have I given the enemy a seat at the table that Jesus prepared for only me and him? The enemy has some key phrases that he uses. He's used since the beginning, right? All the way back in the book of beginnings. And I'm going to share a few that might sound a little bit familiar. You're not going to make it through it this time. You're not going to make it through. See, that doesn't sound like your good shepherd at all. He doesn't lead you to the valley, but he promises to lead you through it. I'll be with you through the valley of the shadow of death. The voice of the good shepherd says, I am with you, even in your darkest moments, even in your darkest seasons, and I'm not leaving you here. It might sound the voice of the enemy like this. Everyone's against you. No one really likes you. You're a failure. You're not good enough. You've done too much and you've gone too far. There's no opportunity here. Other people are deserving of this love. They're deserving of second chances, but not you. Even as I say these things, I know that some of us listening are far too familiar with these words, and the pain is real. John, one of the closest followers of Jesus, would recount Jesus' own words like this in John 10:10. He would say, the thief comes, these are the words of Jesus, only to steal, kill, and destroy. To steal, kill, and destroy. But I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. So why would we let a thief, right? Don't let a thief whose sole purpose is bent on your destruction have a seat at your table. Maybe the enemy has lied and he said, all right, there's something better at the table over there. Have you seen what's over there? Maybe it's another relationship that's outside your marriage. Maybe it's the drugs that are going to numb the pain. Maybe you're looking over there and you say, oh, they're having so much fun over at that table. It goes on in verse 11 to say, I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The good shepherd says, this table is for you. I love you. I want a relationship with you. It'd be said of him in Hebrews 12, it'd be said of Jesus that he would, for the joy, that joy is you, that was set before him, he endured the cross. Right? It's echoing that the good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. He left his throne in heaven and he laid down his life for you. He says, this table is for you. You are my delight. You're the apple of my eye. My thoughts towards you can't be numbered. And if you want to try, go ahead and go out and try to count all the stars. Right? Try to count all the grains of sand, because that's how numerous my thoughts are towards you. I knew you would have enemies. I knew there would be a lion prowling around looking to devour. I knew there'd be some jerk sticking his finger in your cake. That's why I prepared this table for you. It's a table of safety, peace, comfort, direction, provision, favor, blessing, and guidance. You know, you want to know the best part about family breakfast for me. It's not the biscuits and gravy. It's not the scrambled eggs, right? Cooked low and slow with the perfect amount of butter that Paula Dean would be proud of. Right? Just a little bit of salt added at the end so they don't become rubbery. Right? It's not that thick. I make the eggs if you haven't figured it out yet. It's not that thick sliced bacon, applewood smoked. Right? It's not the crispy potatoes. Bacon grease is the key there. Right? With a little bit of hot sauce on them. That's all good. The muffins, the cinnamon rolls, the pastries. If you haven't been, you should really drop by sometime. But the best part for me is not what's on the table. It's not what's at the table, but it's who is at my table. I don't have anywhere to be. I am spending time enjoying my wife and my kids and anybody who should happen to stop by. See, I love the peace. I love the provision. I love the comfort. Right? I love the protection. I love the guidance that being at the Lord's table provides, and all the things, all the blessings. But the thing that blows my mind, and the thing that should really cause us to pause and truly be amazed, is that the creator of the universe, who holds all things in his hands, he's prepared a table for you, and he wants a relationship with you. Don't let that become too familiar. Don't let it become too mundane, too rote, right? Don't let it to stop making you pause and be in awe and wonder. Let it continue to leave you like the psalmist who would write this: "What is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man that you care for him?" He's saying, who am I? Who am I that you would even look my way? So if you're joining us today on Ren Live, and you want to accept this invitation from Jesus to begin a relationship with him and have a seat at his table that he's made just for you, you can request prayer. You can hit that button, and there's going to be a staff, there's going to be a prayer host that's available to pray with you right now. If you're watching this at a later time, you can send prayer@rendecatur.org an email, and we will be sure to reach out with you. Rejoice with you if you are making that decision with Christ for the first time. But pray with you if you have any other prayer needs. We want to thank you for joining us this morning. I just want to really say a blessing over you. That may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you and give you peace. Right? That 2021 is going to be for you a year where you find that you're seated at a table with the King of the universe. Right? And you will find that peace and that comfort. Right? It's that peace that passes all understanding. Even when you walk through the darkest season, the darkest moments of your life, you still have that peace because he is with you and you don't have to fear. You're comforted by the fact that he is protecting you against the roaring lion, that he is bringing discipline, but even in that discipline, you find comfort, right? That he is bringing oil to anoint your head. You're having that favor and that blessing, and your cup actually overflows. And so then you begin to be an encouragement to others around you. May you be blessed this year. From our table to yours, we love you. Stay safe and have a happy new year.
I don't know if I have a specific thing or things that I'm looking forward in 2021 or for next year. Maybe just to have a greater understanding of what 2020 has fully meant to us. Sometimes it's so difficult to appreciate something from our past until we are removed from it. So 2021 for me might just bring a greater clarity of what last year really did. Stacy mentioned earlier just the slowing down, the quietness that we had during quarantine. And I'd forgotten, honestly, how great that is for us. We're a very busy family. We go from thing to thing to thing. And to be able to actually slow down, I think I'll see next year when things ramp up again, that I don't want to ramp up again. I actually want to stay slow. I want to continue to rest and stay home and cook and do the fun things that we did during quarantine.
I think as everything picks up again, everything, everybody goes back to work like normal, and everybody starts to get busy again and things like that. I think we'll all be looking for, I know I will be looking for ways to maintain some of the healthy habits that I've had and built over the last year.
For 2021, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, I think it's going to be a year of growth. And I'm just excited to see what God's going to do in 2021.
The things that I'm most looking forward to in 2021 would be that that changes would happen. Like we would welcome those changes. Like I'm just ready for changes, and I'm ready for new things. 2020 was such a year of new things, and at first I really fought it. But after a while, it just got to where like you were rolling with the punches, like it's totally normal. And so now I'm ready to like embrace 2021 with that same attitude of like, let's change everything.
Yeah.
Like let's just.
If we can live through 2020, we can go through anything.
We can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to having plans that actually happen instead of being delayed or changed or rearranged. I think that'll be great. And also birthday parties. Can't wait for those.
I am looking forward to getting involved back with the community. That's something I've missed this last year, so that really gets me excited and I'm looking forward to it. From a family perspective, I am looking forward to getting back to the routines with the girls, their sports schedules, the things that they so love and enjoy. But I agree with Jeff that we will probably keep some, we'll slow down our schedules. We won't get as busy as we had been. We're going to learn in 2021 what we appreciated about 2020.
So for 2021, I think I'm just looking forward to what it could possibly be. I think I'm hopeful that it's going to be more exciting, better than 2020. I'm anxious to see just what the year is going to bring, the new changes.
I'm excited for what's going to come.
Yeah.
If it's good.
Yeah, that's good. If it's good. If it's not, don't want it.
So as we close out this year, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to those who have partnered with us in your giving. With this being the last Sunday, if you have any end of year giving, you want to be sure to get those in before the month end. We want to thank you and we want to thank God for all we've been able to accomplish this year. We anticipate some great things next year as we look to expand the kingdom in Decatur and beyond. As always, you can text to give, you can click the button to give during our live stream, or you can visit rendecatur.org/give.